Congressman Byron Donalds sits on the House Oversight Committee. He's got some thoughts about all of this and joins us now. Congressman Donalds, what did you think of the president's speech yesterday?
I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. You have a president who's failed on every measure of his job. The inflation report comes out this morning, 7% inflation year over year. But this guy's down in Atlanta talking about voting rights and wanting the Senate to do away with one of the fundamental structures of the Senate, something Joe Biden has defended for decades. He is a hypocrite on this matter because he's trying to get a political win. And the truth of the matter is, it is harder to vote in his home state than it is in the state of Georgia. He should go home and talk to his own legislature about reforming their election laws, not doing what he did yesterday in Atlanta.
And that was a point that the Senate Minority Leader made on the Senate floor earlier, saying that the voting laws in Georgia, as newly written, are more expansive than the voting laws in the state of Delaware. But let's just go back and listen to some of the language that President Biden used in his speech yesterday. Listen here.
History has never been kind to those who've sided with voter suppression over voters' rights. Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis? This is the moment to decide, to defend our elections, to defend our democracy.
So let me just ask you a couple of questions, if I could, Congressman Donalds, because you voted against H.R. 1. Are you on the side of Bull Connor? Are you on the side of George Wallace? Are you on the side of Jefferson Davis?
First of all, anybody looking at this interview right now knows I would never be on the side of any one of those three gentlemen. The fact of the matter is this. H.R. 1 is the worst election law ever crafted. It's a federal takeover of all elections. It would actually allow for voter ID laws, which happen to be in 33 states, to be completely removed. It would finance the campaign of federal elections using public financing, one of the worst ideas ever. That's in that bill. But Joe Biden is setting up a straw man, like so many on the left do, that if you don't side with them, then you're somehow with the devils. But I know better, and so do the American people. That bill is trash. It is awful, and it should never become law in our nation.
It was interesting that President Biden invoked the name of George Wallace in terms of excoriating people, because here's an article from the Detroit Free Press dated May 1st, 1987, during the height of the presidential campaign, talking about Democratic presidential candidate outreach to the South. It said, Senator Joseph Biden of Delaware, for example, tells Southerners that the lower half of his state is culturally part of Dixie. He reminds them that former Alabama Governor George Wallace praised him as one of the outstanding young politicians of America. Back then, he appeared to be on the side of George Wallace. Now he's saying if you're on the side, now he says if you're against voter rights, you're on the side of George Wallace.
Listen, one thing I know is that George Wallace would never give any kind of praise to me, but he sure did give it to Joe Biden when he was there and then in the Senate and now being the current president. But let's be very, very clear about this. This is all politics. The Democrats have nothing to run on. Joe Biden has failed America. And because of this, the only place that Democrats always go are to these voting right issues, saying that black people, frankly, aren't going to have the right to vote. That is a lie. Florida has the best election laws in the country, something the Democrats don't agree with, but there are no issues in my state with allowing black people or any other ethnic minority to vote in the state of Florida. They should follow our lead, not Joe Biden's.
Congressman Byron Donalds of the great state of Florida, always a pleasure to catch up with you. Thanks for the time today.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. Sandra.